Aloha, y'all. It is the 25th of April, Moon Day, Monday the 25th. I gotta read these carefully because the ink ran out, so it's pretty faint. It's kind of hard to read. So the sun is at 5 degrees Taurus. The moon rather, is at 1 degrees Pisces. Mercury is at 25 degrees Taurus. Venus is at 21 degrees Pisces. Mars is at 7 degrees Pisces. Jupiter's at 26 degrees Pisces. Saturn is at 23 degrees Aquarius. Neptune is at 14 degrees Taurus. That's Uranus rather. Uranus is at 14 degrees Taurus. Neptune's at 24 degrees Pisces. Pluto's at 28 degrees Capricorn. And the North Node is at 22 degrees Taurus retrograde. We have a whole lot of energy in Pisces right now. Mercury... or the moon rather, I can't read this. The moon, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Neptune. So I will get a new pen ASAP. This thing ran out of ink. Let's go ahead and get into the chakra. It's the Molodara Chakra. It's a root chakra. And this is at the base of your spine. It corresponds with your adrenal gland, essentially. And the positive aspects are security, courage, strength of will, and pioneering spirit. Negative aspects are insecurity, self-pitying, aggression, and fear. The mantra is LAM, L-A-M, and you do that in the key of C if you're going to chant it. LAM, like that, or whatever. Key of C, L-A-M, LAM. Spiritual activities are noticing the beauty and perfection of the natural world. Essential oils are cinnamon, garlic, and sandalwood. Plant is sage, metal is lead. Element is the earth. This is you getting grounded into the earth, right? The musical note is C. Crystals are ruby, bloodstone, and hematite, and the soul lesson is service. So that is really what we're trying to focus on today, getting rooted and being service-oriented. I'm going to try to adjust this, but that might be a stupid idea, given I'm already live. Whatever, if it's a little sideways, I guess we'll live. So, let's go ahead and pull some cards. Hopefully you all are doing all right. I just woke up from some weird dreams. Nothing too crazy, nothing that y'all could relate to. It had to do with music and being on stage and weird stuff with my brother, but interesting nonetheless. So let's go ahead and pull some cards for the day. We've got the 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords. So if you don't know, swords are the air signs. So if you're a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, this is naturally your suit. And 5s are essentially, obviously halfway down the chute. Ace is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 would be completion. 5s tend to be more conflict based and difficult. 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. But 5 of Swords is what we're working with today. So 5 of Swords, battling your inner demons. The compulsion to win, keeping a beneficial advantage, and letting the past pile up around you. I must win at any cost for the 5 of Swords. Winning of any kind involves sacrifices. At first glance, the difference between, quote, winning at a cost and, quote, at any cost might seem trivial, but deeper inspection uncovers the stories of lives and careers brazenly sacrificed, shattered, and broken. In the conflagration of a blinding obsession and a quest for power, people cease to be people, rather becoming objects merely helping or hindering progress. Colleagues become competitors, family and friends are dead weight. The ancient Roman orator Marcus Tullius Cicero is quoted as saying, "Inter arma enim silent legis," often misused, or misquoted possibly as, "In times of war, the law falls silent," which even today, leaders with a relentless drive to succeed have used to justify their immoral actions. Ignore laws to get what you want. Conquer at all costs. Very South Node of Scorpio energy. This demonstrates the dangerous manipulation of words taken out of context. The art depicts a man, sword in hand, poised to strike. Below him, another man kneels. He has surrendered, apparently injured, his life force draining. The struggle is set in a cold, uncompromising land. The remains of death littering the landscape, signifying the physical and emotional carnage that follows in the wake of those prepared to sacrifice anything to achieve their goal. In a flash of brilliance, the radiant hand of John the Baptist, said to have baptized Jesus, appears as if to awaken the aggressor from a trance. The aggressor stands composed, ready to strike another blow to secure victory. The scene is frozen in time, posing the question, what will happen next? Will the sword fall, or will this man be spared? Within that pause, that instant, another possibility can be born. The drive and determination to succeed in an endeavor is admirable. The aspiration to positively influence and have maximum impact in one's community and further afield is exemplary, but not if you leave a trail of destruction. The Five of Swords represents the galvanizing force of ambition, of striding towards a goal. It requests you look carefully at where you may be fixated on an outcome and acting out of integrity. Look at the ways you are being self-righteous. Do you place the need to be right over and above loving and respecting connections? The compulsion to win, to always be right, cuts away at the heart of life. We are asked to consider whether it's worth the sacrifice. There's always a pregnant pause available when we are presented with the opportunity to take a different action. The realization is that the drive is the winner, you are not. So the Five of Swords is about battling your inner demons, the compulsion to win, keeping a beneficial advantage, and letting the past pile up around you. Given that it's a Molodara or root chakra day, I think it might be very real that we have fears that we're either being taken advantage of and life is kicking our ass, or that we're not going to deal the blow to our enemy and we're going to lose our kingdom and we have to fight for everything, and it's live and let die, right? Paul McCartney Wings kind of stuffs. With the moon in Pisces, with Jupiter and Neptune conjunct in Pisces, Mars and Venus in Pisces, this John the Baptist coming from on high gives us this spiritual pregnant pause, a moment. With the Sun in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, North Node in Taurus, we're trying to manifest a reality, but our thoughts keep getting in the way. The past are demons, if you want to put it that way. The things that cause us to be imbalanced, right, and not rooted, the root chakra, are kind of piling up, and we can be either one of these characters. Basically, I'm thinking that, if you're obsessed, South Node in Scorpio, with getting your way or proving a point or, whatever, kind of this kind of power moves, obsession thing, take time out and realize, are you kind of ruining the moment and hurting yourself or others in spite of the grace that is available to us all? And if you feel like you're the one on the knees, are you giving up your sovereignty and being codependent, South Node in Scorpio, or are you going to rise up and, find out how to flip the tables, North Node in Taurus? But the moon in Pisces, we have this ability to really tap into the spiritual kind of peace, be still kind of thing that John the Baptist coming down from on high. And I woke up from a dream that kind of frustrated me, so it feels like I'm already in this mode where I'm just kind of like and agitated. So maybe we're going to feel a little agitated today, mentally. Five of Swords. Hopefully we're not actually in sword fights. I doubt any of us are, but you might have something on your mind. You're like, oh, I'll tell that person. I can't wait to show them, or that kind of energy, right? Where it's like fighting and winning at all costs mentally. You want to be the little debater with the last point. That kind of energy. And is it better to win, at all costs and have your final say and give the blow and win the debate and the victory mentally? Or is it better to love your enemies, love people as yourself, kind of have that pregnant moment? That is possible, but we could be very caught up in our South Node Scorpio, our aggressive ego, kind of trying to deal with things in that way. We've got the Eight of Pentacles as a zombie in this deck, as a clarifying card. Right, this guy's saying, off with his head, and she's actually holding a head. Decapitated corpse. Oh, it's not a corpse, it's a person. So, the Eight of Pentacles, though, is about doing the job you're meant to do in the world. So I think we're kind of fighting ourselves, in a sense. I'll just read briefly what the Eight of Pentacles says in this book. Eight of Pentacles, I'm doing the work I was born to do. Practicing your skills, encouraging others to be their best, deep satisfaction of your work. I think we're kind of fighting between idealism and reality, right? We're like, oh my gosh, if I don't have X, Y, X in the bank, I'm not happy and I'm going to attack life. If I don't have, this title, this degree, whatever, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight to win. I'm going to fight to be right. I'm going to fight for my money. I got to fight to survive, right? And what we really need to be doing is kind of looking at the grace and releasing ourselves from this conflict, right? Mental anguish and realizing that we're here to do stuff that's beyond just what your ego wants you to be doing, right? That's something I have to actually think about a lot right now, where I'm like, look, I love playing music and I'm good at it and I've done it before. Is that my ego trying to push me forward in a way, or is that my heart? Is my ego preventing me from doing that and causing me to be fearful and not commit to getting a degree, or not commit to, whatever, writing songs or recording them? It's a mind game right now, right? And what we really need to be doing is getting into our hearts, our spirit, and that's where we loosen the fears. Get into your spirit, know that, peace, be still, be still and know. And this kind of moment will pass. And then that really leads us towards the victory of what we're supposed to be doing. What we tend to do is distract ourselves with, imagine this guy. It kind of reminds me of the movie Chariots of Fire, where there's a Jewish guy and a Scottish guy, and they're both running. The Scottish guy is more humble, and he's like, I run for the pleasure of God. And he's not really fighting to win. He doesn't even care about running, really. He's doing it as a hobby, and basically people are like, come join the Olympics. Whereas I think it's Abrahamson, but I forget his name. The Jewish guy is like, I'm a trained athlete. I'm going to kick everybody's ass. I'm number one. I'm going to fight for this. And in his mind, he ends up being very unhappy, hurting relationships. He, even whether he wins or loses, he's unhappy. He's bitter. And it's like, is winning at all costs actually even worth it, right? You're here to do something particular, right? But are you messing around in the mind games of it all and not getting into the spirit of it? Because the spirit will lead you where you need to go, but your mind is going to give you 40 answers, and you're going to debate those answers' correctnesses and weigh them against each other. I'm a Sun and Moon Gemini. I love debating, but at the same time, you can get caught up in this logical kind of tit-for-tat egoic place, and we don't want to be doing that. We want to be moving towards essentially what we're here to do, not making a bunch of noise needlessly. So let's go ahead and get an animal oracle card. I've got some decisions to make soon, and it stinks because my Gemini's in Chiron, so indecision is kind of my issue. Beauty, the Swan, is the clarifying card, right? And with the Pisces moon, very resonant. All this Pisces energy, North Node in Taurus, Sun in Taurus. Neptune, which is about music and the arts, inspiration at that level, is in Jupiter, Neptune, Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces. Jupiter and Neptune are conjunct to Pisces. Venus, Mars, and the Moon are in Pisces. And then Taurus is ruled by Libra, which is ruled by Venus. So we have a lot of energy right now for beauty. And really the most beautiful thing to do is wake up to your ignorance, right? Wake up to your ego and say, oh shit, he is me and I am him, and maybe I shouldn't even be on this battlefield, and I should be at home singing songs and painting paintings and making love, right? We have things to do in this life, but are we getting caught up in the things that we're not supposed to be doing so much? Are we neglecting to see? She's blind. Are we neglecting to see the beauty because of our minds? So this is number 20. The Swan. Beauty is all around us. And that is what it was saying with the Molodara Chakra, right? To appreciate the beauty. Where it says, the spiritual activity was noticing the beauty and perfection of the natural world, right? We're the ones who caused the war. We're the ones who caused the suffering and strife. In a sense, that's part of what the karma of humans is, so we're here doing that, and that's okay. But let's rise above it and tap back into that beauty, shall we? So beauty is all around us. If we care to observe it, the natural world provides so much of it. However, remember, beauty is highly subjective. Love yourself first and know yourself. Look for the beauty in this situation. Ask, and your questions will be answered. Mythos. It is the Greek god of light, music, healing, and prophecy, Apollo, who is most closely linked with the swan. Apollo's mother, Leto, caught the eye of the king of the gods, Zeus. She refused him, so he turned his form into a swan and seduced her. Leto gave birth under duress on the island of Delos to twins, both archers, the formidable Artemis and the beautiful Apollo. As the god of music, Apollo loved to hear great musicians play and would often come down to earth to hear and bless great music. One of his favorites was a human called Cygnus. For many years, Apollo listened to Cygnus's sublime music until one day Cygnus died. Sad that he would never hear such a music again, Apollo turned Cygnus into a swan and elevated him into the night sky among the stars. This is how the constellation Cygnus came to appear in the night sky. As a healer, referred to by the word as Paean, P-A-E-A-N, yeah, Paean, Apollo had a chariot pulled by swans. Where possible, his temples had swans that made their home there. Swans are associated with love and beauty in the Greek culture and were sacred, protected animals. It was also believed that swans would be mute until they were close to death, and then they would sing a stunningly haunting and beautiful song to the gods. This is the origin of the term swan song, which is actually Led Zeppelin's, I think, record label or something, Swan Song. And it was more or less about Lucifer, if you see the fallen angel kind of thing, of Led Zeppelin. The animal. There are 7 living species of swan, all having similar physical characteristics, including the long, elegant neck. 5 species are found in the northern hemisphere and 2 in the southern. All swans at one time were thought to be white, but then the Australian black swan was discovered. Swans do normally mate for life, but if a mate dies or is unable to breed, the other swan will find a new mate. Once constructed, nests are vigorously defended. There has even been an episode recorded of a human drowning when attacked by a swan defending its nest. The magic, which is why we're all here. Swan magic is pure and graceful. It is perfect to use for love workings and also when you wish to find more beauty in our world. Everyone could do with a bit more beauty in their lives. So symbology is the lyre, which is like an old guitar. The Cygnus constellation, Apollo's chariot, Apollo riding a swan, and Leto with a swan. Status, their status ranges from least concern to threatened. So I think the idea here is that we are unable to see the beauty around us, right? This John the Baptist coming from on high saying, hey, don't fuck this up and don't kill each other. Because our minds are divided. We see people as others. We see opportunities as failures or losses, right? We see winning at all costs is the most important thing. And success is important, 8 of Pentacles, right? Having a strong foundation and moving towards value, North Node in Taurus, Sun in Taurus, Mercury in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, revolutionizing the world with value is a beautiful thing. But are you doing it at all costs? Are you hurting yourself and others? Are you getting caught up in your mind and just kind of flitting about millions of options and not landing on anything and kind of driving yourself insane, right? South Node in Scorpio is saying we can be a little obsessive and instead what we need to be doing is just relaxing into life, like the swan, and enjoying the beauty around us, seeing that everything is grace and has a dance and has a time. To everything there's a season, right? So you don't have to go out there and murder everybody for the position of the job. You don't have to go out there and, I mean, this is weird analogies, but like, you know, give up your entire social life in order to be a valedictorian. It's like, is that your ego, your mind, 5 of Swords fighting with demons? Are you creating issues, just trying to strive for the work and the place in the world that you feel you're supposed to be in? Ambition isn't bad, but maybe ambition past a point is, right? And aggression isn't bad, but after a certain point, you're victimizing yourself and others. So we're here to do a job, and it's really to be fully ourselves and, you know, be in the world beautifully, I guess you could say, right? In a grounded, practical way, North Node in Taurus, but I think we're dealing with a lot of internal strife. It just kind of is what it is. So hopefully we're conquering our demons and not letting them conquer us into hurting ourselves or others, right? Hopefully, you know, hopefully this isn't us with our demon being like, I got you, now you're hooked and you can never actually see the beauty. Hopefully this is also about us saying, fuck you, I'm going to be number 1 at work and I'm going to take out my competitor. Daft Punk has a great lyric that says there's no such thing as competition. To find a win, we lose control, right? And that's very Pisces moon, Neptune, Jupiter, conjunct Pisces. When you kind of get on your knees and say, life, have your way, that's when the miracles start coming in and happening. And that's really when you find exactly what you're supposed to be doing in your life, the work you were born to do. But we have to get out of our minds in an egotistical shadow sense, which is hard. Christians call that sin, right? The distortions of our mind and hearts can cause the beauty of the world to disappear and could cause us to be very ugly. If we'll look back on our human history and say, wow, look at BlackRock Corporation or Halliburton or these industrial capitalists, tycoons of the 18 and 1900s who kind of raped and pillaged the world for just getting ahead, right? Just getting ahead and not really giving a shit about their world, the environment, others, just kind of getting a profit. And in a sense, that was what they were here to do, right? To show us how not to be. And in a sense, I guess you could say there was an evil beauty there. But we can learn and do better than that, and we should. So rise above the situation of your mind in the shadow form. Slay your demons. Really just make peace with them because even your shadows are necessary. 45 is the hexagram we're getting from the I Ching. So, this is very Saturn and Aquarius, looking at the group, making decisions, structuring the world around them. 45 is gathering. And are we gathering, our thoughts and fighting amongst ourselves internally? Or are we gathering with colleagues and making things happen in the world without competing? Are we gathering enough beauty, whether it's listening to good music or working our bodies through fitness and health and diet? Are we gathering beauty? Or are we gathering strife and discord? Eris and Chiron are both. Chiron's your wound, the wounded healer. Chiron's in Aries, and Eris is in Aries. So it's like we are dealing with ourselves, our ego, our warring self. The wound of being an individual who has had issues in their life come up and hurt your selfhood, your body, your mind. And it's like, do you take that out on others? Or do you drop your sword and say, let me help you, loving your enemies, and realizing that, to hurt others is to hurt yourself. So gathering, wherever people find themselves together, there is something which motivates them, whether a collective goal or a stronger person to whom they align themselves. As a leader, you become the focal point of all the group's strength. As an ordinary group member, you add your individual capabilities to the collective power of the group. In both cases, you're one of the group and contribute to concentration of energy within the group. Either role could have a positive or negative effect upon your personal development. It all depends on how you go about it, right? Having a sword, having an ego isn't that bad. It's necessary. It's functionally necessary. But how are you going about it? It can be positive or negative. Are you chopping off everybody thinking them are competitors and you got to protect yours at all costs, South Node of Scorpio? Or are you moving towards beautifying the world, Swan, North Node of Taurus, and trying to include others, Saturn and Aquarius? It all depends on how you go about it. Try to organize your feelings and thoughts so they match your actions and goals. By doing so, you gain self-confidence and can achieve your objectives. So even achieving your objective isn't even a bad thing, right? Let's just say it's like, oh, I've got to go, whatever, win this day or get the castle or whatever. It's like there's work to do, Eight of Pentacles, but how are you going about it? Are you going about it in a disturbed, distraught, warring, kind of bellicose way? Are you fighting yourself and others? Are you playing with demons? Or are you bringing beauty and peace to the situation and making it harmonious for yourself and others? That's only going to happen if you aren't afraid, right? The only reason this person is trying to kill this other dude is because he's afraid. Anger comes from fear, Fear leads to hate. Hate leads to anger. Anger leads to dark side, or whatever the fucking order is. I forget. But he's afraid that this guy's going to be an issue. Or he's afraid that he won't have justice. Or he's afraid that whatever, right? So he's trying to take it into his own hands through his mind. And if we can just calm down, relax, and ground, Molodara Chakra, very much like this root, the center of the group is rooted, red, you will start seeing the beauty all around you, no matter the circumstance, and you will be doing the work exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Like and in a sense, even fighting your demons is part of the work. So don't think that, don't beat yourself up and be like, oh my gosh, I'm dealing with addictions. Like, that's where you're at right now, and that's the karma you're dealing with, collectively and individually. It's okay. But do you want to always get your ass kicked? I mean, as an addict type person myself, I know how it feels to be like, I don't want to do so. There have been times I've been like, I don't even want to drink, but I'm going to drink. And that's not fun. That's when you're letting your demons run amok and take you out. So let's get a stone. We can quantumly entangle with this. You don't have to own it, but if you do, plus 10 points. And what we have is rhodonite, R-H-O-D-O-N-I-T-E, rhodonite. What it is, with a palette of deep pink and black, rhodonite gets its name from the Greek word for rosy. Who needs it? Potential wasters, Neptune and Jupiter in Pisces, Moon in Pisces, people that kind of lollygag. Those deeply sighing, I hate my job types, Sagittarians, right? Sometimes when our minds are like, oh my gosh, I hate my job and I want to kill everyone at my workplace. Oh my God, or whatever, right? Going postal. Or, oh my gosh, I hate myself and I didn't get what I wanted. And this is your inner child. And it's like your mind is like, you're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not successful enough. You don't have enough in the bank. Your mind is the thing causing the division and the distraction and the warring. If you kind of get into your heart and get grounded, the peace will come and you'll say, you know what, I'm exactly where I need to be, even in the midst of war. And you'll put down that sword and you'll be a little more chill. Where to put it? Against your open heart, begging the universe to tell you what the fuck you should be doing with your life. I heard. When to use it when that cubicle life has got you down. When it's time to drop the people-pleasing facade and start doing something that really lights you up. When you're ready to use your real, unique powers to actually make this rapidly spinning planet a more beautiful place, right? more beauty, more beautiful place when you're actually ready to do your job. 8 of Pentacles. And do it with others as an individual and as a part of a collective. But you're going to have to conquer your ego, your fears, your self-loathing, which you project onto others. I mean, as much as you hate somebody else, that's how much you hate, you know, as much as other people annoy you, that's you annoying yourself in some abstract way. It says, go with your heart. And you realize that this guy wouldn't be doing this if he was going with his heart. He probably wouldn't even be on the battlefield. Maybe they would have had diplomatic peace dealings, or he would, you know, this is like Scar in Lion King being like, oh, I should have had so much and you took it away from me, older brother Mufasa, and I fucking hate you, right? It's this dynamic of the mind saying, I'm lacking and I'm not enough, or I need revenge, or whatever, the demon talking in your ear. This is the battle within. And hopefully we don't let it get in the way of our work. Hopefully we don't destroy our relationships in the group and our dynamics of positive potential. There's so much beauty, right? And in a sick, weird kind of way, hold on, there's a guy going by. In a way, there's even a beauty to going through this drama, right? That's why we're here experiencing it. If it didn't need to exist, it wouldn't. But do we want to dwell in this place where we're seeing everybody as a threat? This is almost like Wolverine, right? He's always quick to bust out his claws and be like, oh, I'll kill you, bub, I'll take you out, I fucking hate you. He's very angry. But why? He's got real deep alcoholism. If you've seen some of these movies and episodes and comic books, he's got drinking problems and he's got a broken heart, and he basically was actually made an X-Man against his will. He was a scientific experiment, right? So he's got a lot of anger. He's dealing with demons. In a sense, it's what he's supposed to do, be a Wolverine, right? That's his karma. But it's like, how are you going about that in your head? Are you destroying the group project and the group effort, the dream? You hear the kind of paradox. It's both, and it's like tisk tisk, but it's like, we're all kids down here learning, so it's okay. But you don't want to be the fucking bully on the playground all your life. There's, you know, even even Voldemort, you know, he's this kind of crazy dude. This is almost like Voldemort lashing out at Harry Potter. And at the end, it's like they find themselves in a white room, and it's like, oh, you served your purpose, Voldemort, but you were really not playing well with the group, even though the dream dynamics demand that, I guess. And you were really detracting from the beauty, even though some people are attracted to Slytherin, South Node, Scorpio stuff. Go with your heart. If you're a Slytherin, be a Slytherin. You know, if you're a Hufflepuff, be a Hufflepuff. But I think all of us need to have a check and get in check with what's in our minds and hearts in terms of what's driving us. Is it our ego? Is it a comparison thing? Is it a fear thing? Do we think we've missed out on our life purpose because of somebody else? They got in my way. That, you know, road rage kind of issues, where it's like, oh my gosh, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. I should have had that job. Oh, I could have been with this girl. Whatever, that kind of energy. That's your mind, 5 of Swords, fucking with you, and your past piling up around you. You need to make peace with that past by grounding it out, Molodara Chakra, root chakra, taking some deep breaths, getting rooted, and saying, you know what, we're all in this together. If you want to play the game of, you know, Darth Vader and fucking Obi-Wan and slashing people down, sure. Even Darth Vader eventually gets redeemed, right, in some weird way. But this is a choice, right? And it's a choice point. Do you want to play with your demons or not? I think we're moving towards our life purpose more and more, North Node and Taurus, or the value we're bringing into the reality, Sun and Taurus, Mercury and Taurus. And Saturn and Aquarius is saying we're doing it for ourselves and others. And with all this Piscean energy, you know, Moon in Pisces, Venus and Mars in Pisces, Neptune and Jupiter conjunct in Pisces, it's about Neptune kind of beauty, right? Music of the spheres and making love and poetry and dance. But it's also about embodied beauty, North Node and Taurus, and all this Taurus energy, Sun, Mercury, Uranus, North Node, right? Where it's like, it's time to be beautiful. And if you think this is beautiful, this is the trip you'll have. But a lot of us are like, you know what? There's a higher beauty, and maybe I'm getting caught up in my ego, dare I say? So, and if you are, it's okay. You gotta work with it, right? Get in your body, breathe, and kind of try to have peace among yourself. It says, go with your heart. If you've asked for a journey where you're going to be a warrior fighting other people and doing all this crazy stuff, maybe that's part of your trip. Holler for a reading. Maybe I could tell you, it's like, oh shit, you're a 10th house stellium Scorpio. You're here to like really be cutthroat in business or whatever, right? So it can be okay, I guess, because Peter, in a weird abstract way, it's a yin yang. So light needs dark, dark needs light. They need to play off each other. But are you playing into your dark more than you need to? Is it preventing you from moving towards your actual goals? Are you getting hung up on the details in your mind, and your ego is constantly telling you, this is not enough, they're bad, they're the problem? That's gonna, it's all good. It's all good. It's all gravy. It's all circle. Knights of the Round Table. But is Lancelot being like, who's sleeping with my girl? Or I'm gonna go sleep with his girl? Like, are they egotistical and tripping on it? That's got its own type of beauty, but we can rise above. You know what I'm saying, I think. So go with your heart, rhodonite, and yeah, root yourself out. Ground it out. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Leave a tip if you have. Tag a friend or whatever, you know, like, subscribe, share, all that jazz, all that social media kind of hoopla. Check out the Team Rabbit Hole podcast. It's great. We're actually having a Black Mirror episode soon on Wednesday. And a girl named Angela who is doing Cambo and stuff like that. So interesting episodes. If you want to come on the podcast, holler. I love having all types of people on and discussing it. It's a 2-hour, usually long-form discussion, and it's a lot of fun. If you want a reading, cards, $33 for an hour of cards like this for a query of yours, or just kind of like a pulse on your Tao and seeing how your life and reality are going. $88 for 3 hours of astrology, and $111 for both. I've only got 5 stars, so you know it's quality. Holler, holler, holler. And I hope you enjoy your moon day. Stay grounded and ultimately defeat your, you know, this is you, this is your inner child, and this is your mind. And your mind is kind of defeating your heart. And it's like, try to find a place where you're, you know, you can have your sword, but you don't have to go striking everybody down in anger, right? That's maybe not the purpose of your dream. That's maybe not the best way to play with others. That's probably not the most beautiful, right? There is a weird, twisted kind of thing about villains, like we need them in some weird way, but then we don't want to dwell there forever. So get in your heart, create the beauty, ground it out, root chakra. Enjoy your moon day. Adios. Bye.